Good afternoon and good morning from wherever you are watching us from. Welcome again to another segment of Men's Reflection. In this channel, we address men, we address issues that they go through, we celebrate them, we give them an opportunity so that we can be able to understand them better. I am your host, Terry Njiro, and today we are in a beautiful, beautiful place called Nokras Hotel. It's in Embu. Embu Nokras is here, and trust you me, you don't want to miss this one out. They have amazing facilities, accommodation, they have conference facilities, they have a restaurant, and they have good places. You'd want to check it out, and I'm sure you will be able to embrace and to be able to enjoy the good ambience in that place. As you can see, they are doing quite a good and an amazing job. So welcome with us today for this show. As we promised, we are going to be bringing you guests that will be enlightening us on so many other areas in our lives and to help us to understand men in a better position. So today we have a guest with us, and I don't want to introduce her because she's an amazing woman. And by the way, she's a professor and a psychologist by profession. So I would want you to really join me together as we welcome her, and so that she can take us through quite a sensitive discussion of how to parent a confident, how to raise a confident boy child from a psychologist point of view. So today we have a guest with us. We promise that we are going to bring a psychologist on board so that she can be able to educate us and enlighten us on how to raise a confident boy, as I had told you. And without much wastage of time, we allow me, our viewers, to welcome the professor with us, and then she's going to introduce herself to us, and then we get into it. Professor, karibu sana. Thank you so much for finding time to come on board.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thanks a lot. I also thank you for calling me.
Yeah.
Thank you for recognizing that there is something that I can say.
Yes.
A mother and a grandmother. So I have seen children grow, they go away. Then I have seen others come.
Yeah.
People call me many names.
Mm-hmm.
Right from birth, I was called Wanjiru.
Mm-hmm.
Went to church, I was given Jane.
Mm-hmm.
Then before that, got married. I got somebody Mugai.
Mm-hmm.
So Jane Mugai or Wanjiru Mugai.
Yeah.
And after that, professionally, I went to school like any other person.
Yeah.
Went on.
Mm-hmm.
I have taken over 30 years in school.
In school?
Yes.
30 years?
Over.
Okay.
More than that in
Mm-hmm.
school.
Mm-hmm.
I don't regret, I enjoy.
Yeah.
In psychology, we say that knowledge is up to the time you die.
Okay.
So I have been acquiring knowledge for quite a time.
Mm-hmm.
And when I acquired the knowledge up to PhD level, I was called Dr. Wanjiru Mugai.
Wow.
Then I went back to school.
Again?
Yeah.
After being called a doctor?
Ah.
We thought we would want to pause it there.
Mm.
You went back?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So what I did was, I am a specialist in special needs education.
Special needs
educating children with special needs.
Wow.
Because I noted, I'm a trained teacher.
Yeah.
I noted that there are some children who are not doing the same in terms of behavior, in terms of academics, in terms of social life, like the others.
Yeah.
So I asked myself, what is this? I wanted to find out. So I went to school again. I went on up to PhD level, and I got
Again.
the first degree was on special needs education, PhD.
Yeah.
I went back to master's level and did guidance and counseling.
Wow.
I went to PhD, Pili.
You and books are just...
We are friends.
Good friends.
Good friends. So I did my second PhD, which was now in counseling psychology. And you can hear I have guidance and counseling, which is very good in schools. Then I did counseling psychology. So I lecture in the universities, both either special or guidance and counseling or counseling psychology. Then I stayed and said, I'm being disturbed by this title. Do I say double PhD or doctor and doctor, which is which? So I applied outside the country because after that I can only be called a postdoc. So when I applied in the University of Valley in Mexico, I underwent another program which made me now become a professor in the area of applied psychology. So I mixed a bit of social psychology, applied psychology. You mix different types of psychology because there are many, including psychology of stupidity. We have it. So then after that, I was now given that title. I like being with people. And at the same time, I'm also a mediator. I do a lot of mediation in homes and the rest. What I do around here in Embu, which I like a lot, I've not been a town girl, although I call myself city girl, the city of Embu.
Embu is a city.
to me, I call myself a city girl. But usually women here and people call me daktari wa tabia na maisha, lifestyle and behavior. So I deal with that. Then I have different types of groups of women and men where I deal with cancer survivors in different ways. I also deal with men. In that group, we have men. And when I have men, they don't want to say their issues with women. So I separate.
They want to talk their issues alone.
Yes. So they separate. When it comes to them saying, this is my disease, this is what I have been feeling, I bring them as a support group, psychosocial support group, so that they support one another. But all of them will say, my discovery was done late, although I had been suffering a year before. I didn't want to go forward and say this is my disease and all that. So I am now teaching men how to talk about it, how to express their disease, how to talk about it freely to their partner so that the partner can help them to go to the hospital, take drugs, and especially when a man has BP, blood pressure, the woman has blood pressure, there is an issue in that home. Who will remind the other one? Kunywa dawa. Because kila mtu akona zake. Then they put them here. So I teach them skills of knowing this is my package. This is your package. Because they don't take the same all the time because the degree of the disease is the same, different. At the same time, some may have cancer with BP, or sugar with BP, or another disease with BP, something like that. So it's a disturbing thing with men, but I enjoy it. Then I also deal with children, and especially boys and girls who have gone through difficult circumstances of life, be it rape, be it defilement, any, whatever. And I help them go through that counseling and then take to child or children's department, and we help one another with them, and so that if it is children's department, they know what to do. If it is hospital, they know what to do. So I join up, and then I also take up the women, and I do all that free. It's pro bono. I also do a lot of counseling pro bono. I'm just helping the community because I asked myself, what shall I do with this knowledge apart from taking it to the grave? So I have decided now to be taking it to people.
Allow me to ask you a question. You have acquired a lot, a lot.
Yeah.
And we celebrate you together with our viewers. We celebrate the great achievement you have made academically. But what made you to sit down and say, well, I cannot charge all this, but I want to help? It's not like every other person out there. Someone would feel like, hey, it's time for universities to pay me this and this. It's time for institution to bring this on board if you want my counseling, whatever, because you labored to gain the knowledge. What drove you to giving it out freely?
What I have noted, thank you for the question. Our people here, there are two things. One, they don't value the real true counselors. But we have a lot of conmen, ad hoc counselors. People who just say, nimemwongeleshea, Tumeongea, talking
not
does
from a
not
professional
point of view. We have quacks
Yeah.
who are very good
Yeah.
at curating and cheating people.
Yeah.
Then we have poverty. So the people I meet, when I see a defiled boy who was defiled while picking mirror and has no shoes, I just see, I can't change this.
They cannot even afford.
No, they can't afford. When I see a woman going through domestic violence and she has no way out, she can't even feed the children who have been left with her or by the man who has disappeared or is beating her daily, I can't change that. So it is according to the situation. Although I have a clinic here in town where those whom we agree come, but the rest of the community, I do it free and I feel good.
Let me ask, would you say that in our community, even before we get to the topic of the day, would you say that we have gotten to a place? I know the other countries, what do we call them? These countries,
The developed countries.
Good, that is the word.
Uh-huh.
In the developed countries, people have normalized therapy and counseling. They have valued them enough that a parent would make time literally to get a child to therapy. Literally, ile ya ninaomba ruhusa kazini, ninapeleka mtoto wangu kwa therapist. The same case, marriages in those areas, before they get to divorce, for them that value one another, they'll go through therapy. Would you say that in our African culture, or even, I don't want to say every county, would you say that us Africans at this particular time, we really are even closer to a place of valuing the work you people do, the therapists, whatever, be it to children, to marriage, for whatever case?
Therapists are not valued highly because it's a new thing. That's one.
Is it a new thing, or we did not know about it? This is the time
The
we are learning about
way
it.
we take it, we take it like it is new to us. But we had our African way of guidance, not counseling, guiding the people. The kind of counseling we do is borrowed.
Yeah.
The theories we use, they are borrowed.
We used to have
The techniques we use are borrowed. The standard that has been done is on a Muzungu, the white man's child. Yes. So we are using those systems which are not African.
But
yes, we hand our own African traditional ways of counseling, of feminist guidance to our children. And who are doing it? A parent would do. In a way, the boys would sit somewhere outside with the father and they talk in the evening where there was the fireplace, the fireplace. In the evening, they would talk, especially after circumcision. Before circumcision, the boys would be with the parents and the mother. And sometimes, sometimes with the fathers, they look after small animals. Yes. The next group that was offering guidance were aunties and uncles, or people valued within the community. According to the Embu, the most valued people in the community were circumcisers, either men or women. Those were the key. Then we had leaders, either councils or elders, wanaume, and council for women. We had councils. Women councils were there. So those groups will deal with different cases at different times, depending on their mistake, if it is mistake, or the values they want to instill in this age group. So we had. But now the kind of counseling we are doing or therapy we are doing today is so scheduled.
Into a certain system.
Yes, certain system, and we are told from this time to this place goes like this, and you use this theory, and because outside, I've been out. When a client comes, we shall talk, and he says, will ask me, which theory are you using on my case?
Wow.
So I must know it. So when we talk, I'll say, I'll use this theory, given theory. And then I'll explain, like Carl Rogers' theory or psychoanalytic theory. So, and they will ask me, why do you want to use psychoanalytic theory on this case?
I thought you came for help. Are you?
No, we want to understand, because they will take you to court. Mess with them, they take you to court. Seek kama hapa.
Exactly.
Yeah, you must do serious job. Because counseling is treatment. Simple.
Okay.
Counseling is treatment, counseling is therapeutic, and I cannot play about with your emotions, with your feelings, with the whole self of you. I can't play about with it.
But then why don't we pay attention to it if it's a kind of a sickness? We tend to pay so much attention to the physical one and leave alone the emotional one. Whereas when in mind, it's more, I don't know even how. There's no degree of comparison, but someone that is emotionally healthy can handle anything, be it an illness, big or small, compared to someone that is healthy physically, but emotionally is.
Yeah. We tend to look at, maybe, let me give an example. Somebody collecting papers on the road.
Yeah.
We say, huyu ni mgonjwa wa akili. But before the person, mwenda wazimu. Mwenda wazimu. So that person is sick in the brain, because the brain can get sick like any organ. Okay? But before the person got to that level, we never saw it until we saw him on the road. But if you stay with the people who are with that person, they will tell you it started like this and it went progressing. It didn't come unless it was traumatic.
Yeah.
Some people go off after a traumatic event, like the ones we have discussed around, that a child dies or children die or house got burnt or a traumatic event has occurred. Then yes, yeah, a job. That one you can go, but it doesn't go immediately also. So why we are not serious about the emotional part is we don't know how to track this person from early signs, and we have a very nice way of brushing things. Amerogwa. Huyu ukiona aliiba vitu vya watu amerogwa, hebu ajute. That's what I'm told.
Yeah.
Naambiwa mwalimu, sometimes they call mwalimu.
Yeah.
Mwalimu huyu amerogwa, aliiba vitu vya watu huko. That's why he's like this. So we have a nice way of brushing. Then and we are finished at that point. So mupeleke kwa mtu mwingine atoe urohi au uchawi au mpeleke akaombewe. It's a clinical case. So we have now to go pole pole. Ndio aelewe. And some of them will even throw them out. So when we are dealing with the emotional bit, it is, we look at what was the cause. Ndio afike hapo, what was the cause. We may look at maybe loss of a job, separation, or child rearing practices.
Yeah.
They are the ones which have come because the child went through traumatic experiences, and the child has never been assisted to deal with childhood trauma. They trigger so easily, and the person may go off anytime. So when our parents were doing child rearing practices, they would know how to balance a bit, but there was also still time. So we were taught, don't take somebody's tea utarogwa. Don't eat those sugar cane before taking utarogwa. So we used to be given fear, not reasoning. So when the religion came and tried to remove those things, now we can still do anything. Tumejua kuna urogi for that kind. What there is magics.
But we still have not embraced the therapeutic
No.
part of treating emotional issues.
No.
That we face. We still don't feel like
Again, when your emotions are offline, as I say, there is a cause. Maybe it is a disease which has caused the emotional bit. That a disease in you that has affected you. It is causing imbalances of emotions. Imbalances of emotions, imbalances of the inside of your body, like it's not. So emotions are triggered, or the life environmental area that you are living in, or conditions, whatever conditions are triggering the emotions.
Yeah.
So we must know why, and then we shall clear you. So maybe we could have gone to child rearing practices.
So please, Professor, help us understand those good practices about the importance of what we can do even for our viewers to be able to know that it's okay not to be okay, it's okay to get started, it's okay to even the emotional part of your life should be physically taken care of by the right people. And that's why you have gone all the way to get all those things and you have great having you. So we want for you to educate us or to walk us through the journey of how to bring up this is about children. And we say that we are going to have how to raise a confident boy child. Professor, I'm sure you have seen them because you've been doing pro bono cases here and there. And I don't want to say the things that you have met because I'm sure you have come across. How do you qualify how do
Being a boy child and girl child, sometimes they are the same, a little bit they differ. But let me talk about child rearing. Child rearing is a process of bringing up a child and taking care of a child. But wasomaji, psychologists, and child growth and development says we have many types of child rearing practices or parenting style. So whichever parenting style you take has effect on this child. So we begin, I've just mentioned them. Authoritative parents, to me, according to the writers, are the best, where you are strict. You say, don't do that, John. This is wrong. I stand firm. Don't go there. Don't do this because there is an explanation. Or don't do this wrong because if they sit down, no, there is guidance and you are walking a journey of growth with yourself. That is authoritative. Those children become good and they are able to think, they are able to reason, they are able to move into the world and struggle within the world because they were guided with honor and strictness mixed. And there was warmth.
Is there chance for love
Chance for? Yes. There is warmth, there is affection, because if I say, don't do this, John, I don't stop at that point. I would say, yes, don't do this because then comes, I explain. And when I explain with love. The opposite is authoritarian. John, don't do this, and I'll beat you. Then I smack. And when I smack, I didn't even want to understand why this child did this. No explanation. I'll kick you around and all that. So that kind of a child will be obedient, very obedient. Sit down, sit, but with a lot of fear, anxiety, and may suffer stress because they were never given us a time, no warmth, no love, and no togetherness, no explanation of why we should not do this. And for the authoritarian might even say no food, and that is a child. Children who are reared well must have their rights, and one of them is food, water, shelter, all those must be given. But you find some parents who say, so the child, that is totally they will punish others later, and they will be affected. Because of that, we have permissive parents. Okay, asini jioni mzazi yako tu ulienda and I say ni kama ile kitu ya no one bothers wearing. So they grow without rules and order. But when they grow, they are able to navigate to the world because they have learned it through the hard way.
Yeah.
But you cannot control them when they grow up and become husbands and wives.
But are they also ready for the consequences
No,
of that?
no. It is my way because I learned it my way. To ask for food or not to ask. I learned to ask for food from whoever. I even learned to take it by force if I'm hungry.
Yeah.
So it doesn't matter what I do. And they didn't know how to navigate the world. The permissive parenting, which is not good because those children don't know what is love. They don't know what is sharing. They don't know how to take turns. It's my turn now, it's your turn. Then we have got an uncaring or an unloving parent, whether it is permissive, not permissive, it's there. The world is there for them to. Akitoka asubuhi kanalia hapo kama today. Mzazi akichukua phone kanalia hapo doesn't bother. It's affecting children seriously. Children require this attachment. So if I begin child rearing, begins from the stomach when the child is in the womb. When the child is in the womb, requires that attention, that warmth, that food, that water, that care, that love. And children are able to tell when parents are annoyed, they are quarreling because of the emotions of the mother. The emotions of the mother go up, they affect the child inside. So they are able to tell when the growth is continuing, that this child is not growing in a loving environment. So once they leave knowing this world is not for me. Akitoka hivyo kanajua hii dunia I'm not loved. And when fathers say I don't care about this child, pregnancy ilikuwa yako, mimi hata sinjui, siniambie uko na mimba, and mzazi anakasirika, anaanza kujiuliza, do I bought it? No. So children do pick emotions.
When they are in the womb.
Yes. So akitoka kaanza kulia hapo, the way they are treated, they also know. Now, men, boys cry more than girls.
Why?
So it is biological differences.
Okay.
So they are able to tell, I am loved or I'm not loved. I am attended well, I'm not attended. There is warmth, there is no warmth. So a mother will have to know how to attend this boy more than the girl because they cry more. People say they wanalia because wako na njaa. It's their emotions, and which is biological differences.
Let me ask a question there. You're here telling us that boys have emotions from the time they have a lot of emotion by the time they are leaving the womb.
Not that they have a lot of emotions. It's our emotional differences. Men and women, we have emotional differences because of the hormones. Women have their hormones, men have their hormones. So testosterone for boys is higher in boys than girls. Although we have the two hormones, the boys will have their own hormones higher and girls lower. If you get a child with DNA coding and chromosomes of a quiet, well-balanced emotions girl, hata kusumbua. But boys will tend to cry more, not because they are not attended, but their emotional balances.
So this kid, as young as she is, days and all
months,
that, he is demanding for attention.
Yes.
But how come when they grow up, we are busy saying they don't have feelings?
They have feelings. Now the problem came when they started seeking for that emotional attachment, warmth, love. It was denied.
It was not given because
it was denied. We kazi yako ni kulia hapa, kaa hapo, si nimekunyonyesha, kaa hapo.
Wasilishe kivyao.
Yes.
And okay.
So they grow like that, knowing that mimi
my emotions don't have a place.
Dunia ni yangu.
Wow.
Yes.
Because from the beginning, I showed you I need this.
Yes.
But as
and I was 1 month old.
So you can't pretend you didn't know.
Yeah.
But at some point you told me I have to fish for myself.
Yes.
So I will try to.
True.
Maybe their survivor is trying to fight that need because it was not attended
It wasn't denied, not attended. So anytime you ask for something you don't get it, you ask for something you don't get it, you now look for your survival skills. You can't keep on asking for something they are denied. So you look for an alternative.
So will I be right if I say men are emotional beings, just that they were
very
never
emotional.
given a room to show their emotions. So they shrinked them in them. Wow.
And even when they are growing, boys are growing, they require that warmth.
Yeah.
They require that warmth as they grow. They require that attention as they grow. They require to be asked a question to answer it. And when they get to 3 years, between 3 and 7, that attention, they wanted attention from the mother, kunyonya. And especially kakinyonya hapa, the mother is supposed to look at this child in the face, eye contact, and they talk. Very important to any child. So that is where they pick the language of the mother, and they get emotional attachment, and they get that contact.
Professor, siku hizi tunanyonyesha tuko TikTok.
Tunanyonyesha tukiangalia simu. So they will never know what is love and what is
tuko TikTok. Hatuna masaa ya kuangalia hawa. Wewe ni unyonye uende zako na mimi.
Kakiangalia hivi, that is now where the language begins. Face. Ya mother anakaambia how are you, unashika hii tuchiki haya na kanacheka, unaona hata kanapeleka kamguu juu vile kamefurahi. It is a response of love attachment. Sasa ukinyonyesha unaangalia ukinyonye usinyonye, they will never know how to attend to another human being. No. So they will be cold people. No wonder they are cold. Because they got it from the mom. Not mzee. Kakilialia hapa, hey, how are you? How are you? Your language. Very important.
So it's the responsibility of a mother. To add the emotion of a boy child.
Boy child. From early as kakiwa ndani. It is the responsibility of the mother.
All these that we normally say because
but kakitoka, I am also supposed to hand it over, that emotional attachment to the father. I will say, dad, ukikunja, dad, daddy, na kanaangalia. So the daddy picks and he takes the child and they play. Then he picks the language of the father because this child will need fatherly love. And you will need a man to guide. So it is the mother to transfer this love, this attachment, this coding by saying love to the mother, to the father, and the daddy to take. Not to sit there watching TV and remote and not showing love attachment. So men are not given good attention early from day 1 of birth, year 1, day 1 hour or 1 minute. They are, nikamboy, katanguro.
Is that why they cling so much to their mother? Because unasikianga, ndio maana unasikianga, I don't know how this I do make us understand. I can see the producer is telling us time is not on our side, but this is a topic that we'll pick up. There is a way that we normally say boys belong to their mother. Girls belong to their father. That
age of 3 to 7, hapo katikati, 3 to 5, there is one psychologist, Sigmund Freud, who said, and he did a study, that at that stage, boys are very close to the mom, girls close to the father. We call it Oedipus complex. And boys see the mother as a girlfriend. That's the beginning of a relationship. And the girl the same. So it is me, the mother, who has to reverse that attention and show the boy, yes, I'm your mother, this is your dad. I'm not your girlfriend. And then the father will do the same. This is my wife. There is a language. You don't say directly, this is my wife. There is a language you talk. This is my wife, your mother, and not your girlfriend. So that love, that age is a very crucial age to avoid LGBTQ. That's where they go wrong. between 3 to 7 years hapo. So when they are taught this relationship of mother boy and father girl, and it is not reversed, it might remain. So that is, boys get very close to the mother and girls very close to the father, and it is the both parent to reverse it. Yeah, and so this is your mother. There is a love for a mother and a love for a wife. This is your father. Love for a father, love for a husband. Some people get married and they have never known how to differentiate the love for a wife, love for a
mother.
yes.
It is true. So many men find themselves.
Yes, they are intertwined.
You'd even hear them bringing up a quarrel of who should come first.
Yes.
Is it my wife or my
It
mother?
is, they have never known the love for a mother, the love for a wife.
Active. Whose responsibility is it? It's the parent to make them
It
balance
is the
the
parent as early as day one.
Wow.
Child rearing practices. It's a parent as day one, as they grow up.
Wow,
Every stage has what has to be taught.
Okay.
Yes.
I want to ask a question as we wind up for today. I believe this is a topic we will pick up because we are learning so much about boys that we didn't know, considering that today I've known there is men are just emotional beings.
They are emotional. They are emotional. They are taught to keep quiet and close the. If they eat the emotion, it goes down.
And it becomes another
they are
hectic
supposed
time
to be
pull
expressed.
them out.
Again, something else I would say. These children, boy and girl, as they grow from day one, 1 hour, and especially if they are very intelligent children, they are reared differently. Bright children are reared differently from average children. So question is, how will mommy know? Actually, this is a bright child, a boy, and this is a bright girl, or this is a below average child. And these rearing practices are different because the brain wavelength, see the akili, for a very bright child, very bright girl, they are different from an average child.
I think next time you come on board and teach us on how to do that. I want to ask a question, even as we come to the end of the show today. Are they three parenting styles? There are some that you have mentioned. There is
I've just mentioned authoritarian, permissive, and resolved, and loved.
Would you say, okay, would you say that maybe the way we were parented contributes to the parenting styles that we choose?
True. I will rear my children the way I saw mommy doing it. Because there is no book to tell me.
There is no book for
there is no book for telling me how to do it. So nitakumbuka tu what was mommy doing. I started doing it. But I may, depending on my intelligence, depending on the environment that I have gone through and the exposure, I will say, I was not reared well. We used to be beaten. I will not beat my children. And I reverse. It is possible. We used to be let alone. You go anywhere, do anything. I will not allow my children to go anywhere. Like the parent we have today, these young you people. Say, wazazi walikuwa wangumu, mimi si ulisi wangu, sitafungia wangu. Or you become too enclosed. Dadi, unataka kukula nini? Unataka kababa, unataka kukula nini? Little do you forget that when you bring them like eggs, you forget even an egg can grow and rot. So they are now rotten children. Kababa has become rotten. They are here.
Kababa cannot even keep up a family.
No, never. Not even a family.
Everything is my mom.
At the age of 40, they are still sleeping in their mother's house. Yes, because in Kababa. That is why you are stressed. Na mimi niko free because I reared showing them how to become men. But now you have reared them to be chick in the house.
If at all, would you say as a community or as Africans, we have given the boy child the attention that he would have, the same way I've had, we deny him at expressing himself emotionally, and we don't attend to the emotions. Would you say, because right now I'm sorry to say this, but we are in a generation whereby our men are just existing.
Yeah,
Professor.
they are
No
existing.
responsibility, no accountability. They are just there.
They are just there.
And it's okay, we have educated girl child, as we are a result of a well-educated girl child. But how do we strike a balance? Because we need to, otherwise 10 years to come, I don't think my daughter will come to tell me there is a marriage, because I'm a mother to a 5-year-old. The way I'm teaching her right now to express herself, I'll tell you for sure, I don't think her cousins can do that, and they are boys. So how do we strike a balance? And from a psychologist point of view, what are we supposed to do? How do we go about it as we finish for today?
There is father figure who is missing in this marriage. The man is there, but he's not a father.
Why is he not a father and he's
Because he was never made a father.
there? Wow.
Yeah.
He was never fathered,
He
so
was
he
never
cannot father.
father. Because we think father is fathering sexually.
Biologically.
Yeah. But he was never told. When you grow up at this stage, a woman is supposed to be treated ABCD. Anyway, in short, what we are lacking is the culture that was telling us boys are supposed to be reared like this, like this, like this, went off. We have no culture.
And we have no mentors.
No
when it comes
mentors.
to men.
Now, when I talk about culture, that is where the mentors were.
Mentorship.
That is where mentorship was.
Yeah.
Because the father would sit down with his son, and if the father is not there, the uncle would do, or somebody else.
Yeah.
A child belonged to the community. There is community and individualism. Today we are dealing with individuals.
Yeah.
Touch my child, I deal with you. Okay? So that mentorship community missed.
Okay.
So this is a man who goes out and no one to control him, no one to tell him you are wrong, no one to guide. Not actually to rebuke, but to guide. No one to give assistance when it is needed. Number two, men are supposed to think and do. No, they also miss.
Yeah.
And by the way, men have X and Y. The Y for men is very weak. Biological differences again.
Yeah.
It's not as strong. And that is why even when we come to disabilities, more men, more boy children are disabled than girls. If you take autism, whatever, boys are more. The Y. It is the Y. This is biological differences. So we are supposed to understand the differences in biology of a man and deal with it. The differences of rearing a child girl and deal with it. But the culture was men are the kings, they are everything. In education, in property, they own. Girls have come to show no, I have more intelligence than you have. I can own a car, I can own a bus. What can you tell me now? And now the boys shrink. And they don't want to be told, lakini tuna mdomo unajua. We talk men don't like biological differences again. They don't want this mdomo. Yeah. They are not even peaceful. But once it is like their brain, when it inaenda, this, I told you about the wavelengths. This is inakwenda chini hapa juu. It is like when my brain wavelengths are going ambayo inaenda hivi. So give them time. You are talking 10 sentences, he has picked only one. Then you expect him to answer. You don't get annoyed. You answer with a coffee. Or decide to go away. It is biological differences. I wish we would be able to study the human brain of a man and human brain of a girl, where they are the same and where they differ. And then we shall not be able to jump and scream at men or jump and scream at women because we are different. Hiyo tumekosea kabisa kabisa from the psychological point of view.
Wow, that was amazing, amazing. Our viewers, I hope you have been able to learn something. Today we were learning about the effect, if I would call it, I would say the effect of the different parenting styles on the character of a child. And we have been explained to at length by the psychologist on how and the differences that we have when raising boys and girls. One thing that I've come out of this short session with today, kumbe men are emotional. Vile they have shrinked their emotions, and then growing up we are told they don't know how to show affection. It's because they were never shown affection from the beginning. So for anyone that is bringing up a boy, I hope you can be able to pay attention to the small details. Parenting doesn't come with a manual, but we can all learn from one source to another. And we are blessed today. We had the Professor Wanjiru with us. I hope you can share this video so that you can help someone out there. Our goal at the end of the day is to bring up a wholesome son, a wholesome husband, a wholesome father, so that we can be able to save our generation. Remember what we have been told yet again: if you have never been fathered, you cannot father. I am asking and I'm calling on to all men out there, responsible men out there. It's time to start mentoring a boy child. It's time to start bringing them up for a conversation, and so that they can be able to understand their responsibility, so that they can be able to embrace themselves. We will do our part, but we can't do alone without your help. So for today, we want to appreciate you so much for continuing to support our channel as we air this. Professor will be back here with us over and over again, because as you have heard, there are so many things that we want to learn in a journey of discovering who is a boy child, who is a man, and how does he transition from being a boy child to a responsible man. Because the reason and the main aim of this channel is to celebrate our men, is to give them a platform. So for today, that is it. We want to appreciate you so much. For No Plus Hotel for giving us a place, we say thank you. And I'm going to ask Professor, do you have the final word as we close the show today to a parent that is raising a boy?
First, I want to thank you and the hotel for giving me a chance to come and give some knowledge. Although it was kidogo sana for today. Next time, I'll come with full details of the parenting styles and how they affect growth of a child, and when they are done well, the good side of it. But a parent, please don't let children grow just like even a tree is guided. Guide your children. Be with your children. Support them seriously. And support is not giving money. It is education. And education is not only going to school. That education that you give to your child when you are telling him, plant beans here, wash your clothes there, do some tea there, that is education. So parents, don't let children grow just like that. And again, parents, especially those who have money, I'm concerned about you rich parent who have 1,000,001 house girls and house boys, where the child, I've seen parents who have children in the university and the child cannot wash clothes. There is somebody to wash. Please, that's not a human being you're bringing up. Let children do something, and let children be children, because they will one time be alone without you. So how will they grow? In that big house, I have always said there are a lot of dry tears of parents who are crying today because the child is totally useless. Without the parent, he can't make it. But at the same time, parents, don't leave them to grow. No one cares where they are. Be with them, support them. Even when they are married, just respect the house and have a conversation, positive conversation with them, and note that now they have grown, they have a family, they have to know how to deal with husband and wife and their children. Don't impose your manhood, your motherhood in them. Otherwise, they may feel like you are controlling their houses, and we don't want control. Let's deal with the topic next time and see how much more we can help our men. I'm also concerned about them because they are really drinking. We have no men. Hatuna wanaume. Hapa Embu County wameisha. They are all into drugs. They are all into drugs.
I think they are trying to hide their emotions because we have not given them a platform. So for this platform, we will join hands together with Professor. We'll be working on various issues, and so that we can try to salvage what is left of our men, because we're looking forward at a place whereby marriages will still stand and things will be done as expected. So for today, you have a nice time. God bless you.
Thanks.
Thank you so much for the support.
Thanks, you too. Thanks. I'm happy.